headlines for you today. 700,000 children are being taught in school buildings that need major repairs or replacing altogether, according to the public spending watchdog.
Hospital consultants have voted to go on strike in July. It'll come just 2 days after a 5-day walkout by junior doctors.
Outshining the stars, drowning out the moon.
An unexpected side effect of Parkinson's. We hear how treatment for the condition could help unlock artistic creativity.
Good morning. When loan sharks bite, illegal moneylenders are targeting people struggling to buy essentials during the cost of living crisis.
A very good morning from Lords, where in just a few hours' time, England will begin their attempts to level this Ashes series with Australia as the second test here gets underway.
Now, a long-awaited report into cricket in England and Wales has found that racism, sexism and class-based discrimination is widespread and deeply rooted within the game. The report says most ethnically diverse players experience racism, women are treated like second-class citizens, and cricket is dominated by players from private schools.
The fans said he'd be back just as soon as he was able. John Donnison, BBC News.
Now, the rapper Stormzy and Crystal Palace forward Wilfried Zaha have agreed to a deal to buy the non-league club AFC Croydon. And the artist, who grew up in the South London borough, is part of a three-man consortium, including Palace's former head of play care, Danny Young. The club can compete in the 9th tier of English football.
And Boots is set to close 300 stores across the UK over the next 12 months. It's in a response to an increase in traffic to the pharmacy's chain online website. It's understood there'll be no redundancies and staff will be offered to work at nearby shops. The Independent Climate Change Committee's report into the government's ability to meet its net zero commitments, and it finds their progress to be worryingly slow.
Fires involving lithium-ion batteries found in e-bikes and e-scooters are the fastest growing fire risk in the capital, according to the London Fire Brigade. One of the latest incidents was caught on film and has been widely shared to show just how dangerous they can be. On average, firefighters attend this kind of fire every other day. Today, the London Assembly is looking at what actions being taken to address the problem. A virtual fracture clinic is said to have prevented almost 13,000 hospital visits over the past 3 years. East Surrey Hospital in Red Hill says it's revolutionised the way it's able to deliver orthopaedic trauma care by doing referrals online and emailing results to patients. It means nearly half don't need to return to hospital.
We're able to see needy patients early. We're able to book people for operations early. Because we're assessing them in 24 hours. So if you think about previously, operations were getting delayed by more than 2 weeks, making it difficult for patients, making it difficult for surgeons.
Let's have a look at the Wednesday morning papers, shall we? And a number of them are leading with Matt Hancock's appearance before the COVID inquiry yesterday. The Metro there reporting that the former Health Secretary told the hearing that the UK's pandemic preparations had been too concerned with what he called the consequences of disaster.
Sorry is not enough. That's the headline on the Mirror. The paper says bereaved relatives of those who died during the pandemic have refused to accept his apology.
A 48-hour strike by hospital consultants in England next month is leading the front page of the Daily Telegraph. It will come 2 days after the end of a planned 5-day strike by junior doctors, and the paper says the action will leave the health service able to provide only the most urgent and emergency care.
And on the front of the Times, a story about water companies drawing up plans to increase bills by up to 40% to pay for improvements to the sewage system. The paper says the news has alarmed ministers and that Chancellor Jeremy Hunt will raise the matter with the industry regulator, Ofwat.
Making the papers for you this morning, and sorry is not enough is the headline in the Mirror as grieving families turn their back on Matt Hancock. Well, the Metro leads on the former Health Secretary's testimony to the COVID inquiry, and the Express quotes Mr Hancock saying, "I want to be brutally honest with the public." Well, the Mail says 7 days of NHS chaos as senior doctors announce another walkout, and the Telegraph says doctors on £100,000 a year are walking out over pay. And the Eye reports that Russian President Vladimir Putin's plane has been used to fly Russian diplomats home from Washington. And staying with Russia, the Financial Times says Putin admits that the Kremlin has completely bankrolled the Wagner paramilitary group, who had an uprising over the weekend that was aborted. And The Sun leads with Nicola Bulley's inquest and a text message sent by her partner an hour after she drowned. And The Times warns water bills will rise by 40% as companies have to deal with the growing sewage crisis and the effects of climate change. And The Guardian says the government own advisors warn its net zero strategy is failing to hit almost all of its targets. And if you want to see any of those front pages again or read the stories, scan the QR code on the screen.